Good morning, Bande Matram. Welcome all of you. The topic to be discussed right now is on the vital ego resists. That is the topic of discussion for right now. Vital ego. That is the problem. The resistance, most of the resistance are coming from the vital ego. So this vital ego, steer up in the course. What stands on the way? Way means in the way of sadhana, the way of integral yoga you are pursuing. On the path, what really comes on the way as a resistance is, of course, it's always the vital ego with its ignorance and the pride. Vital ego, ignorance and pride, both have the instruments of the vital ego that is coming on across the path of sadhana, and it is really it resists. The pride of vital ego with its ignorance, and the pride of its ignorance and physical consciousness with its inertia. First thing, vital ego with its ignorance, and the pride of ignorance. Vital ego with its ignorance does not know, and the pride of its ignorance, and then the opposite characteristic. And the second, simultaneously, the physical consciousness with its inertia. With the physical consciousness, you can find the inertia is a great factor. And for vital ego is concerned, ignorance, pride of ignorance, that is coming to resist, coming as a resistance on the way, represents and resents and resists any call to change, does not actually respond to the call of change, so they stand on the way. So what are the things coming on the way? Very first thing you can find vital ego with its ignorance, pride of its ignorance, and physical consciousness with its inertia, both the factors. They are standing right on the way. You can find, so vital and physical combination, you can find resents and resists the call to change, any call to change, that is the criteria. And its indolence with it does not like to take trouble. Where I am right, I don't want to go. I want unchangeable attitude, I don't want to change. I am okay, no problem with me. That is what. It finds it more comfortable to go on with its own repeating always. On the way of repeating, they keep repeating like anything. They don't want to really to change the same old movements. Repetition of the same old movements, that is the criteria we can find. They don't want to change, at least expecting everything to be done for it in the same way, at the same time. They don't want to change. They don't want to call, receive the call. That is the problem with them. That is the problem. You can't change. Resistance to change. They can't hear the call for change. They don't want to change. So better criteria we can find two things. In the vital we can find ego with ignorance and pride of ignorance. In physical consciousness you can find the inertia with inertia, physical inertia that resists. So they don't want to take the trouble, they don't want to change. They want to repeat the things in the same old movements, same thing only repeating again. And at best you can find expecting anything to be done in the same way at the same time, as per their requirements, as per their will. So for this actually real progress, it gets hindered. You can't get the real progress on your way. So what you have to do, what has to be done? The first thing to be is to have the right inner attitude. It is there problem with inertia, your vital problem with your physical, that inertia does no intention of change, does not want to call on to receive the call. These are the things you will be receiving again and again. But thing is that to get rid of all these troubles, all these resistance and obstacles, that you must have the right inner attitude. Right inner attitude is the only solution. The rest is the will to transform. First, the right inner attitude. With this inner attitude, there is a possibility of change. And the second, the will to transform oneself. Second one, will to transform oneself. That is the second factor you are finding. And later we can find the vigilance to perceive. Third, vigilance to perceive and reject all belonging to the ego and the tamasic presence, persistence. Something is there. First of all, you must have the right attitude. Second, you must have the will to transform in oneself. Third, vigilance to perceive. And once you get the vigilance, then what you have to do? Reject all belongs to the ego and the tamasic resistance in the lower nature. These four factors are essential factors. You can find these all simultaneously and coordinately it has to go. And finally, you can find, finally, to keep oneself always open to the mother, even if it is the beginning, then how? It is only the preparation of the base. Then how the structure will be erected? That is not up to you. You can't change anything of your own. So, up to the Divine Mother. Open to the Divine Mother. That is the fifth and most intelligent, most important part in your being. Open to the mother or every part of the being. Open to the mother in every part of the being. Not in one side you are opening and on another side you are reserving. Not like this. So every part of the being you have to show that the process of transformation may find no hindrance. So along with these four, you have to get coolly, cleanly open to the Supreme Mother, so that anything that is coming to hinder will not find a place. So this hindrance will perish, will go. That is what the requirement of the time. Again, Sri Aurobindo quotes, egoism is part of the machinery. Egoism. Most the problem is egoism. We really don't, we are not interested to know. And of course we don't know. Of course we don't know because it is coming in 10,000 ways. Only combinedly, if we go and search what are the factors, maybe 5, 10 factors, you will be able to know, nothing more, nothing less. So egoism is a part of the machinery. It is part and parcel of the machinery. You can find a tool of the universal forces. It is there standing on the way. It is only when one gets into touch with the higher nature, that is what can be done. You can find inconscience, inertia, ordinary light, ordinary force, it can't neither change nor nor able to change. So supramental force has to come and it has to arise inside and change. That is what. But who is going to happen? Go to that uppermost level, that highest level? That is a problem with us. So what we have to do? Is only when it will go, only when one is touched with the higher nature, that is possible to get free of this rule of ego and the subjection of this process. So touch of the higher force, if it is coming descending in you and it is acting upon the nature, and you are giving the free hand for this working, then it is possible. Otherwise there is very difficult, really difficult. So the rule of the ego and the subjection to these forces will go only with the touch of these higher forces. Then Sri Aurobindo, I will try to remember something, one beautiful thing Sri Aurobindo has quoted. This earth consciousness does not want to change. It rejects the whatever is coming down from above. See, it is well confined to its ego, ignorance, that tamas, inertia, it is lethargy, it is well defined. You can't change it. It is there. So it is very much prominent. You can't change it. The thing is that it does not want to change. The first thing, it does not want to change. If it is not willing to change, somebody has to come and change it. Then what it will do? The second step, it rejects the force, that is what is coming from above. What is there inside the environment, they can't change. Something is coming, they have to force upon this inertia, vital ignorance and all, and they have to change. And whatever, when they are coming from the from above, it actually rejects them. It has always done so, not the here or there. Whenever you find higher force is coming and taking care of you and it is trying to change, that time you can find the possible rejection from the lower nature, like ego. What is known as earth consciousness tries to reject, tries to resist it. So that is that is in part of the nature you can find. So it is only if those who have taken this yoga. So that is, these people, there is a possibility for those who have taken part in this yoga, or who are moving in this yogic direction. and open themselves to the Divine Mother and are willing to change. Not only open, they are willing to change their lower nature, that is unwillingness, and then only this unwillingness to disappear. First of all, earth consciousness, it does not want to change, right? Second thing, that is no willingness to change. So to change, what has to be done? Some force, some light, some ananda, and some power. It has to energy. It has to come from above. And when it is coming, the earth nature in the down floor here, actually they actually rejects. So what? Then it is not possible. Yes, possible. Then what is the criteria? People, it is possible for those who are open to these yogic methods, yogic process, who are actually pursuing this yogic process. So they can do it. And for them actually, not only open, they must be open. They must have the willingness to change the lower nature. So if these two are there, open to the higher force. Second, they have the willingness to change the lower nature. Then only you can finding this unwillingness can disappear. Otherwise, there is no chance. There is no chance you can remember. Anyway, Sri Aurobindo goes forward a little bit. The ego is by its nature a smallness of being. Ego, separative attitude. It is confined. It is limited. It is small. There is no other definitions for ego. It is the pervert reflection of the yogic force for Jivatma also. See, the ego, by its nature, is a smallness of being. Smallness of being. It brings contraction. It brings contraction to the consciousness, and with this contraction, of limitation of knowledge, disabling ignorance, confinement, and diminution of the power, and by that diminution, incapacity and weakness. Schism of oneness, and by their schism, disharmony and failure of sympathy and love and understanding. Inhibition or fragmentation of the delight of being, and by that fragmentation, pain and sorrow. To recover what is lost, we must break out of the world of ego. So many things, so big things have been explained by Sri Aurobindo rather here in this message. The ego is by nature, it is a smallness. Fine, we can understand. Already we know. Second, it beings a contraction of consciousness. No expansion, contraction of consciousness, and with this contraction, limitation of knowledge you can find, limitation of knowledge, and disabling ignorance. That is what we can find on the way. Confinement and diminution of power, confinement and diminution of power, and by that diminution, incapacity and weakness. Three. By that diminution, it diminishes. It develops the incapacity and weakness. Schism of oneness and the schism, disharmony and the failure of sympathy, it develops. By that schism, you can find disharmony and find failure of sympathy and love and understanding. Four things. You can find the schism. You can find disharmony, failure of sympathy, love and understanding. Inhibition or fragmentation of delight of being, which is really the blessing of the nature, and it is well confined, well available. It is well bestowed upon the people who are pursuing this sadhakas. Who are pursuing this process, actually they get delight of being gets fragmented, inhibited. And by that fragmentation, with this fragmentation, what the outcome, you can find the pain and the sorrow. You can find the pain and the sorrow, truly you can find by the diminution or fragmentation of the delight of being. Then how can we get for this recovery? How can we recover? To recover what is lost, we must break out of the world of ego. This ego, this diminution, pain, suffering, you can find incapacity, weakness. These are the things that are developing. And for the diminution of all these things, you have to do the very great thing, what is possible in your nature, what really you want to do. To recover what is lost, we must break out of the walls of ego. Once you surpass them, bypass them, or you go out of this, not surpass or bypass, you have to overcome them. You have to go beyond. So there, go beyond the world of ego. Once you are moving out of the world of ego, you are in the right track to possess the sadhana. So try to recover yourself and try to throw out your ego and ignorance. That is the criteria. Dhanyavad. Thank you.